Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Oregon. I'm your host, Mike Ducett. Today we'll be talking to Adam Loeber, who is the Athletic Director for Region 6 of the Special Olympics of Wisconsin, and he'll give us some wonderful insights into the Special Olympics organization and a big event happening here in the Oregon community on May 9th. And welcome, Adam, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. This is the first time for you approaching the show and being a guest, so it's always nice to have a new guest. So we're really excited to have you here, and we'd just kind of like for you to begin to start out talking about your role with the Special Olympics of Wisconsin and how you kind of came here, and just give us an idea of your background and what led you to this position.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on the show, Mike. I'm happy to be here. As he said, my name is Adam. I have been the Regional Athletic Director for Special Olympics Wisconsin for the last 3.5 years here. I came to the Special Olympics Wisconsin from the fitness background, the health background, and really have a huge passion for working with people with intellectual disabilities. From a family background, my youngest brother has autism, so I've been working with this population my entire life. And it feels like joining Special Olympics Wisconsin, working for Special Olympics Wisconsin has really allowed me to share both those passions and really love what I do for a job.
So this job is not only a job, but it's very personal for you, as you had a family member who is on the autism spectrum and is part of the representatives of the many disabilities that people here in Wisconsin have and are eligible to play on this. So that's great. In your role as a regional director, what does that really entail?
Yeah, so I am the direct contact for, we have about 30 programs in the southwestern part of the state. I am their direct contact with the organization. When they need anything, they come to me. I'm the direct contact for when there are new athletes that are looking to join, wherever they are in the region, whatever sports they're looking for, they come to me for that. And then I also put on the regional competitions within this area. So I put on 7 different events throughout the year.
All right, so you're being humble. You're kind of like the guy they call when things need to get done, as I'm getting the kind of the sense here, right? Well, that's great.
For the southwestern part, yes.
Yeah, great. So for those individual athletes that are in the program, I know we have a lot here in the Oregon community. We have a long-standing tradition of a really strong support for special ed in this community. And can you give us a picture of how is it beneficial for these people to be involved in the organization and really have these places and spaces to shine?
I think it is hammered home by our mission of inclusion and making sure that everybody has the opportunity to showcase their talents no matter what it is. Their sport is a great leveling field for people, regardless of having a disability or not. So the fact that we are using sports as a medium for them to do that is fantastic. We also offer a lot more than that because we have our health side on there. We also have our athlete leadership, but we have a lot of athlete leaders here in the Oregon, in the city of Oregon, and they do a lot of amazing things in the community, a lot of amazing things when they go to like our Capitol Hill Days and some other things with that where they can have an advocacy impact.
And when someone comes to a Special Olympic event like we're going to see here in May, what can they expect to see? What's happening? How many different events are happening at the same time? Or what is that experience like for someone who may not have ever experienced it?
Yeah, not going to lie, sometimes when you come up to an event and you see there's a couple thousand people here at Oregon High School on at the track meet, it can be a little overwhelming at the start. However, our volunteers should expect to see passion and joy, unlike really you are going to see in many other places, because our athletes, one of the things they really want to do is just showcase their talents, and that you will never meet a more genuine population than our athletes. And so when they're out there, good or bad race, you will see amazing displays of sportsmanship. You'll see amazing displays of just friendship in general out there. So as a volunteer, you get to be a piece of that and help facilitate that. And that's really where you should leave a Special Olympics event feeling very good, because you've seen a lot of great parts of humanity come out.
Well, that sounds really nice, and that's amazing, and something that I think a lot of people should be interested in seeing. Now, I know that when we think of like an Olympics, so to speak, a lot of people think about that traditional stuff that we would see on TV in the Summer Olympics would be kind of the track and field stuff, some basketball, running, hurdles, and things like that. But really, you've really expanded that definition of what's happening at the Special Olympics events. So what does the real picture look like in terms of what sports are offered, and what is the diversity of sports that the athletes are playing?
Yeah, so we have 4 different sports seasons throughout the year, with different sports offered in each of them. So yes, the track meet is one of the big ones, and basketball is one of our largest sports. But in the winter, we have downhill skiing, we have snowshoeing, we have a couple other events. When we get to our fall, we start to have some more team sports. We've got softball, we've got flag football. And as you get deeper into the fall, we've also got bowling, which is our most popular sport besides track and field, as well as volleyball. And we offer a total of 19 different sports for our athletes.
Wow. And I know that recently you've actually expanded to offer cornhole. Is that right? And that's kind of new. And for those at home might know, that's what it's various names for this game, but I know it by cornhole. I think you know it by cornhole as well. But it's the bags you're trying to get onto the board with points and holes, and so. Is that pretty new, or has that always been the case, or are you always looking to expand with like what's next? Pickleball? Do you have that, or like kind of looking for the sports du jour too? Yeah,
so we're always looking based off of interest to see if we can expand and offer new sports in there. And cornhole has been one of those recent expansions to there. So we added cornhole in 2021. And it quickly became a top 5 most participated sport in the entire state of Wisconsin. And our summer became one of the largest cornhole tournaments run in the entire country for Special Olympics. So it has really exploded since then.
I like to say I think cornhole is a great equalizer, right?
Yes.
Because you can be humbled at that game and really, it's obviously a lot of skill, but also a lot of luck.
Yes.
and whether or not your bag is going to stay on that board for sure and get you some points. So that's really exciting. So I know we've been kind of dancing around that you have a big event coming up here at our own very track and field stadium here at Oregon High School on May 9th. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so what can you tell our viewers about that event? What's the timing? Is there a cost? And how do we know like the timing of schedules and events to kind of make the day the most if we come out to support this group?
Yeah, absolutely. So the track and cornhole event will be on May 9th here at the high school. And each individual sport on that day is going to have upwards of about 400 athletes competing in them. So there's a large need for a volunteer base, which is one of the biggest reasons that we are here, was that the community buy-in to Special Olympics here in Oregon. The track, and we'll start with our opening ceremonies at about 9:30, 9:45 in the morning. And then cornhole and track will start at about 10:15 from there. So volunteers are welcome to and invited to come early. 1, to just get checked in, but 2, also to experience that opening ceremonies, because there is, we will have the Oregon Police Department there for part of it. We will have the Flame of Hope going around the track. So there's a lot more production to the track meet for that. But as I said, there's a ton of volunteer needs, both at cornhole, both at track. Just about anything you can think of, we're pretty much going to need. We've got our throws out at the track. We've got our running events. Inside, we need people to be court officials. We need people to keep score. We need people to make sure people are in the right area for where they're supposed to be for their competition on there. So it's going to be a really amazing day. There's going to be a lot going on here at the high school. But like I said earlier, there's going to be so much joy and passion going on that it's just a really amazing day.
And in general, how many volunteers do you need in terms of an event like this?
So right now we're looking at estimates. We're going to need a little over 200 volunteers between the two events on there. And in the past, the Oregon community has come out in droves, and we've had more than 200 in the past. So I'm very confident in that.
All right, so we're on track, but hopefully you're going to get those 200 people. Because that was kind of my last question for you. Is like, now I'm at home, I'm watching this episode, I think, hey, Saturday, May 9th is supposed to be probably a pretty nice day at the time of year. I want to come out, but I want to help. How do I do that? How do I get in contact with you or the organization to say, hey, I'm in, I want to be a part of this?
On our Special Olympics website, we have an events calendar, and this event is on there. So on that link, or on that webpage, there is going to be a link that takes you to our volunteer portal, and you're able to register through that portal. You know exactly what you're doing that day. And you know what time slot you signed up for on there. If you would like to help out all day, absolutely, I would love for people to do that. Just, it'll ask you to reach out to me so I can have you down to make sure you get a lunch. But also, it makes sure that you, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling on my words here. It just makes sure that you know where you need to go on the day of and what your role is going to entail.
So really, it's kind of a choose your own adventure in terms of like how much time you may want to spend. What's the typical time slot to sign up? Is it a 2-hour commitment, or?
It's going to be about a 4-hour commitment for the time frame on there, and all day is about 8 hours total.
Okay, great. Now, as you kind of reflect in your role, and as you've done this before, what have been some of your favorite Special Olympic memories? Like moments that have stood out to you over the years of things that you've seen?
Actually, one of my absolute favorites was something that happened here at Oregon last year. We have an athlete from Janesville who is blind. And so for that, we set up a rope for her to hold on to while she's doing the 100 meter. And we had 40 or 50 volunteers total all the way down the track holding this rope for her as she did her entirety of her event. I don't think there was a dry eye in the stadium while it was happening because it was just so amazing. And you could see just the huge grin on her face when she got done about how well she was able to showcase her ability with also the buy-in from the community in there.
Right, and if there's people at home now that also, hey, I can't give up 4 hours of my time, is there a way for them to donate money to the Special Olympics to say, hey, you know, my money and contributions can help you too? Is there a place on the website to contribute, to donate, to do those kinds of things?
Yes, there is a Donate Now tab on the website as well as the ability to donate to the Oregon local program as well.
Okay, great. Well, sounds like May 9th is going to shape up to be a really, really awesome event, and I hope that you and the community are inspired to come out and see these amazing individuals and compete in these different events, and that you get your volunteers, your 200 plus people, and we keep creating those memories for those individuals in our community who we hold dear to our hearts. So thanks for stopping by the show today, Adam. We thank you for your time. Special thanks to Adam Loeber for his role on the show today as he talked to us about the Special Olympics and all the amazing things that are going to happen here at Oregon High School on May 9th.